Greetings everyone, and welcome back to another in-depth phone review. Today we're going to be looking at something that I found at Cash Converters while on my many random travels. I found this thing, and I thought, may as well have a look at it. I want to test this thing out, see how it goes. It's a fairly old phone, and it's barely sold anywhere except for Alibaba, but it is just an interesting phone to test and throw around and submerge in water and see if it survives. Which I'm fairly sure in those circumstances, it's not going to survive. But we'll see what happens anyways. As most of you should know by now with these videos, they're fairly in-depth. There's timestamps that's going to be in the description as well as the pinned comments, so you can skip to wherever you need to be. If you don't want to see the phone in action, you just want to see it being dropped and thrown around and stuff, you can skip right onto that if you want to, or if you want to stick around and watch the whole lot, that's absolutely fine. Also, the system files from this thing are dumped into the description below, so feel free to have a look through there and see if you can find anything spectacular. Probably not though, because this phone doesn't have a lot of interesting things about it, but I will get to that soon. Okay, so the device we're taking a look at today is the Outdoor IP67 smartphone, industrial use, dustproof, shockproof, mobile phone, smartphone, waterproof, IP68, top quality, rugged mobile phone, A8. And this is available on Alibaba with a minimum of 5 pieces between $100 US and $130 US for this thing. I couldn't find any other website that was just selling this as a single unit, so perhaps this is very, very old stock now. But I do remember seeing this phone on Wish at one point, as well as seeing this thing on eBay at one point in time. However, for all of the images of the device and stuff, I'll take it from this AliExpress listing that says that it's no longer available, and on here this is called the original A8 IP68 A9V9 waterproof, shockproof, NFC rugged smartphone MTK6582 quad-core Android 4.4 1GB RAM 8GB 3G GPS mobile phone. So that's a bit of a tongue twister there, and yeah, I'm not too sure how much this originally retailed at, but in a few more minutes you'll see how much I paid for this thing, and we'll base it on if it's worth it from that cost. And as you can see in this picture, it's a rugged, waterproof, shockproof, dustproof device thing. That's basically it. There's nothing too spectacular about it, except it does have text on the back, which we will take a look at soon. Also, don't confuse this with the AGM A8. This is not an AGM A8. They just share the same names. It's actually quite funny because I don't know the brand of this phone, and you'll see why in a second. On the back, we have a 5 mega autofocus camera. Actually, not even a camera, it's just a 5.0 mega autofocus. That's all it is. There you go. You can take high quality images with your rugged device if you wanted to. And the images in the AliExpress listing are just the phone on the ground getting wet with just a tiny splash of water. We've filled a glass a quarter of the way and spilt it on the phone. See, it still works. It's waterproof. IP68, we told you. And to make things better, they show you the phone with the screen off with the water droplets on there, so you can definitely see that it's 100% waterproof. The box would have looked a little something like that. Just the Android logo with old Android text on there. And you get to see the cameras a little better, as well as the 100 decibels that's near the speaker. The front of the phone looks a little something like this. The available colors were black, green, and yellow. I had no choice in the matter. I got the yellow one, as that's how I found it. Honestly, green doesn't look too bad, and I kind of do like the design for the device. I'm not too sure if it's ripping off anything in particular. I mean, apart from the obvious AGM A8, it's got some similarities. But anyways, moving on. We do have the specifications here, which say it's just the A8. That's it. Dual SIM, it reckons it's got a MediaTek 6582 quad-core processor, running Android 4.2, 1GB RAM, 8GB ROM, bunch of sensors, a heap of languages. It supports NFC as well, which I thought was pretty cool, so we'll take a look at that. Unfortunately though, this is only a 3G device, and with Telstra being the only working 3G network operator in Australia at the moment, that's the only network I'll try in this, and I'm not even sure if those bands are even compatible with this thing at this point in time. The display is a 4-inch 800 by 480 IPS display. We have a 0.3 megapixel front camera and a 5 megapixel back camera, micro USB. We also have, as they call it here, a detachable battery, which means I can pull the battery out of the phone whenever I need to. And that's also rated at 3000 mAh. The dimensions are also listed there. It weighs 233 grams, and the package included a phone, a power adapter, and I cut out the rest of it. My bad. But there's one small little detail that's in this listing, is that you get a free gift with this, and the free gift happens to have Land Rover written on it, which I have a feeling this thing is a Land Rover device. I don't even think Land Rover actually made any devices in particular. I think it's just a brand that they just slapped on there, because if you happen to catch my old channel where the phone archive was called the Retro Phone Archive, I actually reviewed a Hummer device, which I actually want to take another look at it one day, just don't know when though. But that was just a Hummer phone, and I don't think that was an official one. It's just called Hummer because why not? One of the hidden gems that's on AliExpress is the buyer questions and answers. If you have a spare minute in your time, feel free to go onto any listing on AliExpress and take a look at the buyer questions and answers, because you have questions like have it, power and what it, and the answer is shining medium havo. Did that make sense? No. Size too small? No. Worth to take this unit an adult? Yes. Hello, that apparatus really proofed water. More not tried don't. Works with glove screen? Is there RO? Which to me sounds like very intriguing. So anyways, let's take a look at this device and see what this thing can do. It's too far. There it is. Look at this thing. It was 29 bucks. No, it wasn't. I didn't pay 29 for it. I paid 25 for it. I can prove it. See, look, $25 I paid for it. And they've called it the IP67H2O Submersible, model A8, 0123456789ABCDF as the serial number, which we all know. The IMEI is listed there. We'll check if that's the same one. And the identifier appears to be the second IMEI. I also did get my 90 days warranty, so if I do destroy this and break it into 1,000 pieces, I can take it back and say it didn't work. That'd go down really well. Now, you may have already seen this device because I did post a picture of this on Instagram. It shows a very funny message in one of the applications. I'll get to that soon. This is the thing. So we have the 5.0 M pixels. We've got the flash, the rear 5 megapixel camera, the 100 decibel speaker that's there, the price tag, which I'm going to take off actually, because I want to see what's actually under here. So I'll just, let's see what goodness this has. Okay, there you go, there it is. So it says IP68H2O Submersible. I think it would have a logo here, likely the Land Rover logo, but I can't be too sure of that. And to get into the phone, you also need to undo these 4 little screws. And on the back, it also says that it's MOL-S 0 to 810G compliant as well, so fairly durable this thing is. But I do like the yellow and black color scheme. It is pretty nice, and I will say that this device is fairly well made because that's how thick the thing is. Just in comparison, that's an iPhone 6 against this thing, so it is a bit of a chonk, but it is a chonk for a reason. It's waterproof and shockproof and all that sort of good stuff. There's also a ridiculous amount of screws that are around this phone, so we have 8 on this side, and then we have 8 on this side, and then we have 4 on the back there, and then possibly 4 under there, and then another 4 there. So I can reassure you all, it's held together fairly well. Oh, there's one more screw there, I forgot. But anyways, at the top of the device, we have this little flap that reveals the headphone jack as well as the micro USB port. You need to seal this down if you want to submerge it in water. That's not really going to close. This will die when it goes in water, I think. Around the right side of the phone, we do have the volume buttons as well as a camera shutter key. So when you're underwater, the touchscreen's likely not going to work, so you can just use the camera shutter button to just snap away and take some pics. On the bottom, we have nothing, not a thing. We do have a place for a lanyard though. There's also some scratches. Actually, not scratches, more like stab wounds to this poor thing. I have a feeling someone's already tried to durability test this, and they started at the bottom by just carving into it. It's a good idea. Then on the side, we have the power button, and we have this here, which says reset. And this does exactly what you think it does. It's a reset button. You just press it, it resets the phone. Except when I done it, it switched off the phone for about 5 minutes and then powered back on. But otherwise it works. It's just easier. Instead of taking the battery out, you can just press this and off it goes. And then the front of the thing is looking a little something like that, which you've already seen in the listing, but this is what it looks like. So we've got home, recents, back, and it's cracked there. It's missing a piece, but I think it's still waterproof. We also have the pre-applied screen protector, which I will say it has definitely done its job. There's a heap of scratches on there, and yes, I will be taking this off before we do the review. Earpiece up there, probably some sensors hidden in there that I can't quite see. The 0.3 megapixel camera, some holes probably for the microphone. It's pretty heavy, if that gives you any ideas. Now to get into this thing, we just use a screwdriver and just pop it open. It probably did come with a tool in the packaging to properly take this off, but I'll just use my good old flathead screwdriver and just get into here. Also, let's just say this thing retailed for about $100, maybe 6 or 7 years ago. It's got a decent build quality. While the yellow is plastic, the sides and the back are made of rubber, and these little pieces are metal, which hold it all together. And then popping the back cover off reveals a little sticker there that says something that I don't know what it says on there, but we also have the gasket going around the back there to protect any water from getting into this thing. And then we have the battery, which is the 3000 milliamp hour one here. Use specified charger only, do not dispose in fire, do not expose to high temperatures, do not disassemble, do not short circuit, dispose of properly. See for PUN manual for more safety information. I certainly will. I will check that out. It's fairly thick, and once again, here's an iPhone 6 in comparison to the battery size. And you can also see a little protrusion there. That's because the NFC is on the back. Follow instruction in manual. Consultes in manual. Yeah, they've got 2 little contacts there for the NFC that's built into this thing, which is right there. If we take a look inside of here, we've got the micro SD card slot, 2 SIM card slots. The model is the A8 with the IMEIs there. Feel free to check them and see where they're pinched from if you haven't already looked them up. The sticker here says it was made in November of 2016. So at the end of this year, it'll be a 6-year-old phone. And don't forget the quality assurance sticker right there to tell you that this thing is quality. I mean, it could be. I'm just assuming that it's not. SIM card and micro SD card in there. Let's go ahead and stick the battery back down like so. Screw this back on. Alright, screen protector's coming off. Here we go. Look at this. It didn't really work, did it? Oh no, it's just the glue. It's just the glue. Never mind, it's just the glue. There we go, look at that, it's mint condition now, absolutely factory. There's dust under the screen, which isn't really a good sign, but you know what, it's all good, let's just ignore that and go ahead and power this thing on, which the buttons also are incredibly difficult to push on the side. Gotta just give it a little bit of force to eventually power it on, and the on button's over here, by the way, so just give it a bit of a push, and we should be good. There you go. No indication whatsoever, just powers on like so. It vibrates, and that's it. And booting up, we do have 3G on Telstra, which is good. Also, the wallpaper is a car that's on fire, burning through the streets in a city. It's a good sign. So we'll take a closer look at all the colours and stuff of the display, which doesn't look too bad. The listing did say this is a 480 by 800 display, and it's not too bad for what it is. We've seen worse on other Welcome devices, which also, booting this up, it didn't say Welcome, it just says Android, so feel free to go through the extracted files and tell me if this is a Welcome device. It probably is. Let's just assume it's a Welcome device for the most part, or unless this is actually a Land Rover device, and it says so somewhere, but we'll get to that soon. Also, this is factory reset. There's no setup or anything, it just boots straight into here and off you go. As for the 3G network, I've only got 1 bar, which is not a good sign. I'm going to try give this a call and see what happens. What's the default ringtone of this, if it even rings? That's a very, very quiet ringtone, holy shit.
Okay, this is what the earpiece quality sounds like on this device. It should sound a little bit crackly. I tested it earlier and that's kind of what it is. It's just a bit crackly, and if there's any interference, blame the phone. And the microphone quality sounds a little something like this. Once again, I have tested this earlier and it doesn't sound too bad at all, but there you go. That's what the call quality sounds like on this device.
So we're off to a good start. It can receive calls on the 3G network, so that's all good. And it's not claiming to have 4G or 5G or anything like that. It tells you straight here that it is 3G and 3G only. Swiping down and going into the settings, we've got all the good stuff there, because this is running an older version of Android. We don't have the torch shortcut in here as of yet, but I'll show you the torch brightness when I get to the camera. We've got a search widget at the top, which I'm pretty sure I can just... Nope, I can't. Does work. There you go. Very old Android keyboard right there. The buttons on the front don't feel too bad, I will say that. They're a lot more easier to push than the ones at the side, which take a considerable amount of force to use, but they do work. When I take this apart, I'll see how far they're buried down in there. They're probably like somewhere here, the buttons there. We've got gallery, settings, camera, phone, contacts, messages, browser, and then opening this up, we have backup and restore, browser, calculator, calendar, call for help. I'll try to. Camera, clock, downloads, email, file manager, FM radio, gallery, Google settings, messaging, music, news and weather, notebook, out-of-box experience. I stuffed that up on one of my older videos by saying it's Ubi, and I had no idea what Ubi was. Out-of-box experience. Thank you for all the people that told me that. I learned something there. Outdoor tools, people, phone, Play Store, quick start guide, search, settings, sim toolkit, sound recorder, to-do, and videos, and that is it. One other thing that I did notice with the display is that it's actually quite sunken down into the phone. So that means if you do drop this, the glass will be cracked, but the LCD is likely going to survive most of the time. Also, in terms of dropping this, they have put a little lip around the display, so if it goes straight down like that, it shouldn't break the glass, but this is plastic that's already cracked, so I can't guarantee anything. Touching and holding on the main screen, we do have wallpaper, widgets, and settings. We'll go to wallpaper and check out the wallpapers, which we have just one. I mean, we have the standard Android 4 ones, like so. Good old Nexus. We don't have anything else. Well, the theory of this being a branded Land Rover device just completely went out the window. We'll go to settings, where we've got SIM management, which obviously that all works. Wi-Fi I haven't connected to as of yet. Bluetooth, data usage, and more. We have NFC. So, NFC right here. I have this little tiny card. Oh! Hello! It works! That is somewhat impressive. And the rest of the stuff in wireless networks is just Android Beam, tethering hotspot, VPN, and all that good stuff. So moving down, we do have audio profiles, which we have Best Auden listed as the sound enhancement. Good old Best Auden. If we go to the voice call ringtones, it is back row that's set as the default one, but I wonder if there's anything in here that's custom. Champagne edition? Crayon Rock? What? I like that one. I just don't recall it being on any other device. In display, we have lock screen notifications, wallpaper. We can choose wallpaper. Nope, it's just the one. That's sad. Brightness, auto rotate, sleep, daydream, font size and car screen, all the usual stuff. Storage, we do have our 1 GB of internal storage. Oh no, there you go, 8 gigabytes there. My SD card is 16 gigabytes, all is good there. Battery shows that it is not charging. 77% it's at, and the last time I did charge this was a few days ago, so it has dropped a good 20% while it's just been sitting over to the side doing nothing. Application wise, if we go to all, I'll just scroll through here and see if there's anything that looks suspicious or sketchy or dodgy or anything like that. It should be all good. It's going a little too fast. There's Cheeky Android. There he is there. Gotta always mention him. Engineer mode, factory test. Oh, we can try that. I'll put secret codes on here and see if we can launch up anything that'll be interesting. Launcher 3, media storage, MTK logger, music. It's too fast. Notebook, one-time init. It's not that kind of init. It's one-time initialization. Out-of-box experience, I know now, as I said. It's still going a little too fast. Shells, smart card service, Android UI, KitKat right there. Tags, which is probably to do with NFC. Voice unlock, weather, and that's about it. Location, we'll just leave that off. Security, you don't have fingerprint, you don't have voice unlock, you don't have anything like that. It's just the usual options, slide, voice unlock, pattern, pin, password. So nothing that we'd need to test within here. Backup and reset is backup and reset. Add account's going to add account. Date and time. Schedule power on and off. Accessibility, which has talkback, captions, large text. Not much in here. Printing, developer options is enabled by default, which I've already dumped the system files as well. And then in about phone is everything here. So we've got the model number, A8, Android version 4.4.2, which there's KitKat there. There's the Easter egg. It did say 4.2 in the listing, didn't it? The baseband version shows 2014, and the kernel version's there, build number's there, and the custom built version is also there as well. If we go to status, IMEI information, there they both are once again, feel free to check them up. And there is the fantastic serial number, 0123456789ABCDF. Never ceases to amaze me that they don't change that. They just stick it there and go, it's fine. They could just completely mash a keyboard and put whatever they want in there, but they just use the same exact one and don't change it. That's fine, it's completely fine, it will do. Now I've got to connect this thing to Wi-Fi. So let's see if I get my 2.4 gigahertz as well as 5 gigahertz. No, only 2.4. Okay, we're connected to Wi-Fi. Let's try an update. Last checked in 2015. Yeah, that's fine. Check now. Go on. You can do it. Give me an update. No? That's not going to happen, is it? Just doesn't want to do anything. I guess we're just going to leave that. I just went into widgets and I just seen the 3D live wallpaper. Just want to see what this looks like. Wait. There we go. After you create the widget, Launcher 3 can access all the data it displays. Yes, okay. Oh, there's a sheep there. I tried. Network is not available, please check. Okay, well, I won't be able to show you the thing then. Probably have to do location services, that would help. Alright, let's start taking a look at the applications that are built on this device. So, I guess we'll just start from the start, and then when I get to the end of this, I'll install the applications from my SD card to further test this. But backup and restore, we don't need to test, but browser we can test. You can go into the browser, go into Google, and there you go. There's Google. Let me try to type on this thing. So, A8 waterproof. No, I've just pressed OK. It is only a 4-inch display. Actually, come to think of it, this is kind of like the PP phone on steroids. I'll never look at this phone the same way again then. Okay, anyways, I'll type in waterproof, A8 waterproof. Oh, is A8 the cheapy watches that they also sell? Those really, really cheapy things. I think they are. They're called A8 as well. But if I go to A8 waterproof phone, still nothing there. See, there's the AGM A8. Yes, it is a rugged device, and there's some similarity between this and that, but they're not the same. There's the AliExpress one there. But look, from what I'm seeing here, browsing isn't too bad, just on Google. Let's just go to AliExpress here, open that up, and there we go. $133 to $162, so it would have been 133 bucks Australian for this. It says the item's temporarily unavailable, but that's probably a good indication of how much this thing would have cost. For a device that would have been readily available in 2017, it would have done the job, especially for the price anyways. While we're at the browser, let's do the YouTube test. Alright, so let me load up the Costa Rica in 4K video, and we'll see what this looks like on this device. I wish I could see the rest of the display. Give it a moment. Here we go. Had to dedicate that bit for the Morbius fans out there. This movie is an absolute fucking train wreck. Also, there is a connection to Costa Rica and Morbius. Costa Rica is featured in the start of Morbius, so I wasn't completely off there. So I'll just set it on 1080p, because no worries. Oh, that's full screen, there you go. That's close enough. It's a bit laggy, but it looks nice though. It's also extremely quiet. I probably need to bump the volume up, there you go. Yeah, it's a little Laggy. 720p would probably be about right. Let's try 720p. That's better. Nice. 720p is good on this, so it likely does have a quad core and 1 gig of RAM. For a budget device, it's fairly promising. Let's just say you lived in a place where 3G was still available, or 2G, and you needed a waterproof device that was nice and cheap, and this popped up. It's not a bad deal, but I'd say the maximum that I'd pay for this is about $50. But that's not including the durability test for this. It might just completely fail at that stage, which I have a feeling it will because of the existing damage, but we'll see when we get there. Calculator looks like a calculator. Nothing changes there. Calendar looks like a calendar. Nothing changes there. Call for help. Start. My number list is empty. Okay, so call for help, you put a number in here, so you just come to this application, press start, the message is being sending, and that is how that would work. And if you go to help, long press camera key on any screen or select start can enter it to call for help mode, then your device will send the preset SMS to the number list contact in the background. So you just press the camera. No, that opened the camera. It lied. Even switching call for help on and then holding the camera button, it still doesn't work. We'll leave it, because we've got camera up next anyways, so here we go. We have autofocus, which does work. We do have HDR, which does kind of work, sort of. If we go to settings, it does say we have HDR, and the picture size being 5 megapixels. The camera also has EIS, and video quality was set to fine. So I've done a camera test with all of this, and we'll talk about that soon. Now, if I also start recording a video, the torch will be on, so you get a good idea of how bright this thing is. It's not that bright. It's not that bright at all, and you'll tell by the night shots that I had to get pretty close up to objects to be able to see them in the complete darkness, but yeah, that's that. And the front camera is nothing spectacular, it just is this. In settings for the front camera, it does say 5 megapixels, but it doesn't look like 5 megapixels though, considering we don't have any autofocus or anything like that. And you'll see in the pictures that the quality isn't exactly the best from the front camera, so I'd say it's more a 0.3 megapixel camera with the images interpolated to 2 megapixels. That would make more sense. But anyways, without further ado, I will splice in the photos and videos that I took with the A8. I have no idea what to call this apart from A8, and that's even a bit ridiculous for my stupid accent. A8. A8. There you go, got it. A8. Let's see what the photos and videos look like from the A8, and we'll be back in a few moments. There's Ripley in there. You can't really see her. Can I autofocus? I can autofocus. Well, there you go. Yep, there she is. Just watching. But this is the video test for the A8 thing. I don't really know anything else to call this. It's just an A8 at the moment. But this is what it looks like, and this is with EIS on, and it kind of does work, as well as autofocus, which actually is all working well, something that majority of Wacom devices don't actually have. Now, I had my garden sort of, cut away recently, and the only flowers I have left are these things. I have no idea what these are. If anyone wants to tell me in the comments, feel free, but they're weird. I've got no clue what they are, but they're here. Boom. And there's the 3 Muppets just along there like so. There we go. They're looking a little bit colourful. There's Ripley just hopping around being an idiot. And the brick wall looks a little something like that. Still don't know what those bolts are used for right there, but they're there. And we have a lonely lemon. just, you know, chilling next to Stuart. See, he's just chilling with the lemon. There's another lemon there too. There's a lemon, 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 lemon. No lemons on there though. There's some burbs. Hi. And the faraway aircon, faraway satellite too, faraway aircon looks a little something like that. Can you read what it says, or is it just a bunch of pixels? It's just a bunch of pixels. But you know what? For this cheapy device, it's not actually a bad camera. I will say that. It's not too bad. It will do. Boo. And flop. Yes, that's your mouse. You right there? You having a good time? Okay. That's good, Kibby. Yes. Oh, such a chunk. Such a chunk. Yes. Okay, testing this random generic waterproof phone that's called the A8 or whatever at night time, and we have autofocus, which is quite nice. The torch isn't that bright because, you know, everything's just pretty much pitch black until you get close up to it, and there you go, you can start to see some details. But hey, it's not too bad. I'll give this a decent pass. Also, it's raining, but that doesn't matter because this is waterproof. Well, I think it is anyways. Hello there, testing the front camera quality of the A8 phone. Still don't know what to name this thing. This is what the front video looks like. Do we have jelly movement? Kinda, sorta, not really. It's not too bad. No autofocus, and we can't zoom in on the front camera, so it is what it is. But for a shitty phone like this, it's not terribly bad. We've seen worse on other Welcomes before, even though this isn't really a Welcome device. I haven't went through the system files as of yet, so it could be from just a random generic no-name phone. It'll do, man. It will do. I guess. And there you go, you've just seen the photos and videos that I took with this device. The photos taken with the back camera aren't too bad. They're acceptable. It does have autofocus. HDR brightens images up ever so slightly, but it's nothing too special. But it works well enough for a cheapy device like this. It will do. And the video for the rear camera, 1080p as well. Although not exactly the best quality 1080p. It's got some issues with the contrast and colors, and just altogether isn't the best, but it's acceptable. For what this is, it's acceptable. I've had $200 Welcome devices that could only film in 640 by 480 and it looked absolutely terrible, so good on this little thing for doing something like that. Clock looks like clock. Nothing new there. Downloads has nothing in it. Email is going to be email. File manager, let's see what it says here. Yep, same that we already seen in settings. FM radio, let's give this a go. I don't need an antenna. That's cool. What's on Australian radio on a Monday afternoon? Apparently that. Here you go, buddy. Have some headphones. You might be able to help. There you go. Holy shit. That works, you just need to give it some help. Gallery is fairly self-explanatory, Google settings, messaging, music's up next. It's been a while since you've all heard BFG Division in an actual phone review, so here it is, it's back. Well, it's time to see if the 100 decibel speaker is actually correct or not. I have a feeling it is. It was quite loud during the radio, so give it a go here. 104 on the dot. It is a fairly loud speaker, and they were right, 100 decibels and a bit more. And the speaker quality wasn't too bad either. Like, it's not bad. You can hear the kicks and all that stuff. So far, this device isn't a total disappointment, so good on you, little buddy. Let's keep going. News and weather. Do I really want to check that? Nah, that's fine. I'll just yell at Siri instead. Notebook has no notes, but we can create a note, and that's just... There you go, that's my note, you jiggy. The out-of-box experience is just setup, which should have come up when I reset this, but it didn't. Next up is outdoor tools, which I could have shown you the torch in here, but I completely forgot about that. We have altimeter, which, if I start... Okay. Do you do anything? Let's move it up. The height's not changing. I have no idea what I'm doing. Pedometer? Start. to work out. Compass, where is the North Pole? Here, right, phone? Which way is it? North is... Yes, north is there. Yeah, okay. Oh, now north is there. This works. It's fine, it works fine. Yeah, torch. It's okay, you've already seen it. Pressure. Yeah. Pressure sensor does work. Maybe the sensor's here for the pressure? Or maybe it's somewhere else. I'm not too sure. But that's outdoor tools. You don't get a lot, and what you do get probably doesn't work. I'm not too sure how that works, to be honest. Even though it did show a diagram, I have no idea. The compass doesn't seem to work. Pressure sensor probably does work. Pedometer works, and torch works. But there is one good thing about outdoor tools that I have to show you all. It is one of the most gut-wrenching questions a Wacom device can ask, or any phone in particular. Do you want to exist? That's just such a difficult question to answer. And better yet, it's a warning. Do you want to exist? I've landed myself in an existential crisis right here. Okay. And we're just back to the start. So yeah, that was the thing I posted on Instagram when I was playing around with this phone when I first bought it. I went to Outdoor Tools and just pressed exit, and Do You Want to Exist pops up, and I cracked up laughing, and so did my friend. So to my friend who's probably watching this was funny. It was worth it. People is going to show people. Phone is phone. Play Store is going to be the Play Store. I'm not going to put an account on this. I'll just sideload everything from my SD card. Quick Start Guide looks a little something like this, which is supposed to come up when you first power on the phone after setup, but it's here. Doesn't matter. Search is going to be search. Settings we've been through. Sim toolkit we've been through. Sound recorder looks like the little VU meter there. To-do list looks a little something like that. And videos, which shows all the videos. That's everything on the device. It can browse the web. It can take somewhat decent photos. The speaker's nice and loud. It does accept calls on the 3G network. The microphone's not bad. Build quality is fairly solid. Battery life, I can say, is probably not the best because this battery is quite old. It's probably been used a lot. And I think it was at 80% when I started filming this. It's now down to 68%. So I've lost 12% in 45 minutes of testing this phone out. So it'll probably do you for the most bit, but you know, it is what it is. NFC is also good. The sensors, that's pretty cool as well. But let's chuck Grand Theft Auto 3 on here and some applications to check the specs out and all that sort of stuff, and take a further look at this before I start throwing this around and drowning the poor thing. Applications are installed. The only game that I've installed is GTA 3 because KitKat support for Minecraft died a long time ago. I was told that by a fellow commenter, so we'll just stick to the usual GTA 3 and see what this looks like. I mean, we can all agree at this point that GTA 3 will basically run on anything, but it's worth a try, especially with everything on the maximum settings. Looks good. Banshee. 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 It's a Banshee. Sentinel.
I know a place on the edge of the red light district where we can lay low, but my hands are all messed up, so you better drop, brother.
Speaker's loud. It's good. For what it is, it's good. Okay. Oh yeah, wrong button. Let's go. Let's flip the car in 3, 2, 1. Whoa. Close. I tried to use the handbrake and didn't work. This is nice. This works well. Fairly smooth. Nice and loud. Display is good. Sorry. It's a little finicky with the, big sort of chin there, but no, it works. It's good. Since this does run Android 4.4.2, I'm limited to what I can do in the gaming department, but if you have any suggestions for older Android devices, please let me know, because I've got some devices running Android 2.3 and stuff, and I'm wondering what games I can test on them. So if you do know of anything, please let me know down in the comments, and I can put it on the next device I test. Device info hardware, let's take a look and see the specifications. So it is an MT6582. It's an unknown A8. Well, this called it. It's an unknown. So it's not a welcome. It's not an Android. It's an unknown. 800 by 480, touchscreen, accelerometer, 1 gig of RAM, 8 gig of internal storage. System on chip is the 6582. So it's not a 6580, but it is pretty close to a 6580 anyways. Mali 400MP GPU. The system, KitKat, the display 800 by 480. We'll do the multi-touch test just to see. 2-point multi-touch. It'll do. 1 gig, 8 gig storage. The cameras appear to be 5 megapixel for the back, and the front is 5 megapixels as well. It does take 2560 by 1920, that's for sure, but as I said, I think it's interpolated from 0.3 up to that. Battery looks a little something like that. It says 1000 mAh, but we know it should be 3000. That's what it says on the battery. Thermal It's getting a little toasty in the CPU department, but it's okay. Sensors, we have everything but a gyroscope. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's gyroscope, isn't it? Not gyroscope. CPU system info looks like this. So it's an unknown A8, but then it does say that it's an F090 GPS KK. GPS KitKat? F090? Maybe it is an F090. I've got no idea, but it's just an A8. So unknown A8 generic thing is what I'll call this. Something along those lines. Yeah, 6582. We'll check that. I'll pull the shielding off just to double check. It does say internal memory is 1 gig there, but we do know that it does have the additional, what was it, 5.87 gigabytes as well, so it's just not showing that, I don't think. RAM, 1 gigabyte. Screen, 3.9 inches, 4 inches, close enough. 480 by 800. Battery, yes. Always good to say yes to battery. Temperature, sensors, quite a few. Temperature sensor. Device temperature is 38.78 degrees. It's about right. It's got a Bosch pressure sensor in it. Okay, well, the air pressure is working. Magnetic field, that seems to be working. The orientation is also Bosch. Light sensor, proximity sensor, they may not be working. Accelerometer seems to be working though. Camera, 5 megapixel and 5 megapixel. So there you go. Last one to test is secret codes. Where have I installed it? There it is. Let's have a look here. We've got 15 codes. So Bluetooth, calendar storage, email, engineer mode, Google partner setup, play services, services, home screen tips, null. What does null do? Oh, okay. You can test everything here. That's a success. This is basically the menu for testing everything. The handset is playing the music. The handset you are using, just can you hear the handset sound? That's a bit confusing. All right, but if I hold this up to the mic, the earpiece is playing something. It's cute. Success. And then settings is, oh yeah, the MediaTek settings. Well, that's this generic A8 waterproof, shockproof, dustproof, thick device thing. It's okay for what it is. For 25 bucks, it does the job. If someone did buy this for 25 bucks or 29 bucks as they originally priced it at, it's not a bad purchase. It will make phone calls on Telstra. It is running an outdated version of Android, but it works for the most part. It's not a bad device. If you, however, paid, let's just say $150 for this in 2022 and it claimed to have 5G and all that sort of stuff, yeah, this isn't a good device, but it tells the truth with all these specifications, so everything checks out on this. However, at the end of the day, it is just another standard generic device. There's nothing too special about it. It does have some extra features because it's rugged, and I guess that means we're going to test to see how rugged this thing is. I'm going to be doing a set of drop tests and submerging it in water. So what I'll first do is submerge this in water, see if it survives. I don't know how long I'll leave it in there for, maybe a couple of minutes or something, and then drop it a few times. I know a way we can determine how many drops I do. That's a 5. We're going to do 5 drops on this. If it survives 5 drops, then it's good. Although drop tests aren't everything though. It's just going to be a matter of, let's just see what happens to it. If it survives, I will give it a thumbs up. If it doesn't survive, at least you tried. A for effort. And then after that, we'll come back and tear this thing apart because I want to see the innards of this thing and how the construction resulted in it being so thick. How well have they made this shockproof and all that sort of stuff? Let's find that out. I should probably power it off first. So I'll just power it off. There we go. Let's go. Oh, no, we're not finished yet. Okay, let's go now. Alrighty, here we are at my kitchen sink, and Ripley's going to be joining us today. So, hello, Ripley. See? So it all still works, and what I completely forgot to show is the reset button. So if I just press reset, just wait. Also, Cato in the sink. Yep, don't worry about that. And once you press reset, the phone just dies. As I said, the last time I did this, it took about a good 5 minutes for it to actually boot back up again. So I think just hold power and it should power back on. Yep, there you go. So it's essentially a kill switch. Or if you want to wait the 5 minutes, you can. Alright, let's fill up the sink. This is the one cat that likes water. Yeah, that's about full, I'd say. Unless you want to be the subject today, yeah, stick your head in there, as you do. Alright, with BFG Division loaded up, make sure all the ports are nice and secure, which it is. Good cat. And we should be good to test it. There we go. I need to put some stuff out in the garage. So I'll just dump this in water, and Ripley can just play with it as well. Alright, I'll go put stuff out in the garage and come back and see if it's still working. Enjoy Ripley playing with stuff. Okay, how long was I? I don't know how long I was. Still working. There's some water in there, but it's still okay. Oh, it was about 3 minutes outside. Okay. It still works. Yeah? I mean, it's only been 3 minutes in water, but I can leave it a bit longer. We'll just see if anything happens. I think that gives me a fairly good idea that it does all work and that it is waterproof. The touchscreen is a little iffy because there's water on the display, but otherwise, I'd say it is waterproof. When we tear it down, we'll see if there's any remnants of any water inside of the unit. Let me just dry it off and we'll move on to the drop test. All is still good, I think. I'll just go ahead and do the right thing and just drop it face down from about waist height. Whoa. About 1 down, 4 to go. All still works. Face down for a little bit higher than waist height. Move, Ripley. Whoa. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Just drop it on the side. I'll do it from about 6 feet high. Yep. All still good. 2 more. Should I give this a little bit of force? Let me just say that I'm on a building site and I was putting it in my pocket and I'm like 12 stories high or something like that, okay? Just dropped it. Oh no. Something just flew out. It's fine. Here we go. Last one. It actually damaged my floor. It's fine. Now, drop tests aren't everything. You know, you can drop a phone once and it will completely shatter. You can drop it 17 billion times and it's fine. This, though, seems to be good and it's... Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. It just powered off by itself. That's probably because the battery was knocked around a couple of times. There it is. And the plastic didn't actually break on it. Oh, yes it did. I broke the plastic. That's what sort of flung out of it. Yeah, bit of the plastic broke off, but otherwise it's still in one piece. I could continue dropping it until it breaks, but I have a feeling I'll be here for quite a long time. It's solidly built. That's what I've got to say. I think this is quite solid. For a cheapy device like this, it ain't going anywhere. And it ain't gonna break. Putting it into perspective, even though I said drop tests on everything, this has survived a lot better than other rugged devices that I've tested on this channel. So good on this cheapy thing for doing that. It's fine. It's good. Let's tear it down and see what's inside of it. The theme today is yellow. Everything's yellow. This phone is yellow with a tinge of orange. This is fluorescent yellow. The lemon next to it, of course, was yellow, and everything's yellow. That was a good song by Coldplay. I remember that. Let's take this apart then. So it all still works. It's been dumped in water. It's been dropped, and it has got some battle scars from being dropped. But you know what? It put up a good fight, and it won. So well done to you, generic phone. Well done. Well done to the A8, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to call it the Android A8, I'm just going to call it the unknown A8. So how do we get inside this thing? That's the question. I reckon these 4 screws that hold it together at the back here. I mean, not these 4 screws, obviously. We'll see if any water got into the actual innards, though. We'll see. Oh, there's some remnants of water that did make it in there. It's fairly dry. It only just got to this border and a little bit on top of the battery, but otherwise it's fine. In hindsight, it probably should have been in there a lot longer, but as I said, I'll give it a pass. I think it would have been fine. Alright, so then these little pieces pop out, and they have screws in them, I would say. That would be obvious, wouldn't it? So I think it's just 4 Phillips head screws that need to come out. So the rest of the screws are cosmetic? That doesn't make sense. I'll just take all the screws out, because it's not coming apart, because I have a feeling I have to take off the metal pieces around the side, which means a billion screws. So all around the phone, these reinforced bits hold the back casing down and the front casing. There we go. Yep, that's how it would come apart. Now I have a pile of brackets and screws over to the side, but that means the whole thing should just come apart now, I would think. Yep, there we go. There we go. That's it. Wow. There we go. So did any water get into this thing? And the answer is no. Doesn't seem like it. We do have some waterproof mesh over the speaker grill. That's a decent channel that they've got there. There's also XJD written in there. That's still no closer to any manufacturing, but we're getting there. I also see M1 printed in here. Maybe it's an M1. I have no idea. Vibration motor, some contacts there, and also the rubber-proof gasket going around the whole entire device. Some good stuff in here, and it turns out that the front piece is just like this. It is just a plastic frame, and then you can take the buttons off like so, which... that's missing that. Oh, it's got a protection over it. Well, I'll just put that back on then, so that I know where that piece goes. Inside of here, this is what it looks like, and there's the buttons as well, which the distance between the actual outside and the button is quite a significant bit. Well built for a generic device. Here's the innards, and there it is, M1. So are you an A8? Are you an M1? What are you? I don't know what you are, man. Alright. Sticker off, there's the shielding. Let's go a little bit deeper. What she said. Alright, so there's just a couple of screws that need to be removed, and we should be able to just pull this whole thing apart, I think. Maybe someone tried to pull it apart before. Maybe that's why it's been damaged. Who knows? So there we have the assembly for the camera, and there is a code displayed there. If you want to Google that, feel free. But it's got a date code of 2016 on it, which is about correct for this, and that's the 5 megapixel camera there with autofocus, and the flash is also part of the same PCB. So we've got this little connector there, then we also have this connector there, and we also have the front camera, which is located there, which I can't quite see what that is yet, but we'll have to take the entire thing out, and we should be able to get a better look at what this is. Alright, and that is the motherboard. Inside of here, the digitizer, the earpiece, just located in there, and that is a thick shell. And we have the buttons there, which also have some adhesive around the opening to not let any water in. It's all looking pretty good. I wonder if the display can pop out fairly easy. I wonder. Yes, it can. Look at that, there you go, there's the display. That's a fairly easy display replacement. And the glass is like pretty thick. That's a thick piece of glass that they've put on there. So that's probably why it didn't break, because that glass is pretty thick, man. And the LCD just sits in there like so, and it's built well. I will say that, it's built well. And the motherboard's looking a little something like this, with microphone down there, contacts for the earpiece, the front camera, which does that have a code on there? It kinda does there, but I don't see what that says. I'll have to check during editing, I can't see that. Micro USB and headphone jack right there. There's some stickers on the board which say the manufacturing date is 2015, and it's a 1510 version 2.0 HXTW8X160904, 8+1, and then a little manufacturing code doodad thingamajiggy. 8+1 is also printed there as well. M1 1510 main PCB, 2015. Ah, there is a code on the camera. Just there. So I would say the guts are going to be under this one here. But is there anything cool to look at on the motherboard? Apart from a whole bunch of contacts and stuff. It's a full-size motherboard with the NFC contacts and everything on here. Okay. We're in. I think I may have damaged it. Yeah, probably. That doesn't matter. Should still work. MediaTek MT6582V processor, SK Hynix module, which I did see in device info hardware. All is listed there. There's another MediaTek chip right there, probably a power IC most likely. The Wi-Fi and radio and stuff would probably all be within here, but I just wanted to double check and make sure that it actually is the MediaTek MT6582 that is in here, and that is exactly what it is. Yeah, I'll put this back together and see if it still works. But is there anything else that I need to showcase from this? No? Wi-Fi? Contacts? Any unused contacts? No? I'm just still surprised at the build quality of this, to be fairly honest. They've definitely done some good stuff in here, that's for sure. I'll put it back together and we'll finish this review up, I think. Alright, well it took me about 10 minutes to put it back together, but I think everything is in the places where it should be. It's kind of missing that, but that's okay. We'll just put the sticker there and no one would ever know. So let's put the battery back in and just see if it powers up. See if it still works. Display, but do we have anything, and does the touch still work, and all those questions. Go on, there you go. Speaker still works, and wait for it to boot. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. It's almost there. Beautiful. Not a problem. That's pretty good, man. Dunked it in water, I tore it apart, and I threw it, and it still survived. I was going to say A for effort, but no, this is A for awesome, I guess. I don't know. It still works, it's still in one piece, it survived, and I didn't have to break the screen to pull it apart, so it's done a lot more than other rugged phones have done on this channel before, so I will conclude that this device was absolutely worth it to test. And if you ever see one, and as I said, only need 3G, then it's not too bad. Depending on how much you pay for it though. If you see it for less than 50 bucks, grab it. Well, that is it everyone. That is the full in-depth review of this thing, this A8 generic device that is actually kind of worth it. So I hope you did enjoy this video for what it was. I didn't really have plans to review another rugged device again until I'd seen this at Cash Converters, and I thought, you know what? I think it's worth checking out. Let's see if this thing can survive. And it did. What a survivor. Absolute beast. And now I really want to take a look at that shitty Hummer phone that I have, just to show you all. If you want to see that, let me know, because it's a little tiny one, touch screen and a couple of buttons, and nothing too spectacular, but it's worth showing it off. But anyways, everyone, that's it for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it, and I hope giving you all another review on a cheapy devices that makes this channel return to a bit more normality instead of uploading job lots and flea market stuff. This is more of a mainstream video, but I plan to do an I Wish video soon. I just don't know what to do it on though, that's the problem. So if you have any suggestions or ideas, let me know down in the comments below, and I'm more than happy to suss it out, maybe do a live stream of finding something on Wish or AliExpress or some random dodgy sketchy site wherever we can find. Who knows, man, who knows? If you made it all the way to the end, first of all, thank you very much. But secondly, if you needed to use the timestamps to get here, that's all good. That's why they're there. So if you need to use them to skip to the teardown or durability test, that's all good. That's why I've implemented them, and the extracted files from this phone are in the description below, so feel free to go through them in your spare time, and if you find something funny, let me know. Otherwise, everyone, that has been another review from me. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and stay tuned because I am going to be reviewing a game console in the next video, and it's not a bootleg game console, it's actually a legitimate game console, so I'll be testing that in the next one. But until then, take care, stay safe, be good people, and I'll see you all in the next one, which should be having a look at this game console that was sent to me by Banggood. But I've got a 2-week deadline to do it, so wish me luck. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one. If you like this content, feel free to leave a like or a dislike if you didn't. Thanks heaps for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.